My name is Martine Saint-Victor. I'll be your MC today and tomorrow. Et un rappel que toutes nos sessions sont disponibles en traduction simultanée. Vous n'avez qu'à aller sur l'application de la conférence. So all our sessions are available in French and English. All you have to do is go on the app and click the session you're participating to. So now it's very exciting because, as I mentioned before, we have this new feature at All In. It's called the Talk. And our second talk of the day is a presentation by TELUS and NVIDIA, and it's called Sovereign AI, Building Digital Independence to Fuel Canada's AI Leadership. And to share highlights and to guide us through that, please help me in welcoming the Chief Information Officer of TELUS, Hasham Fahmy, and Global VP of Business Development, Telco at NVIDIA, Chris Penrose. Gentlemen.
All right, good morning. How's everybody doing? I gotta get used to the stage. I'll make sure we pay attention all the way around.
Make sure we spin around.
Exactly.
Yes, yeah. But good morning, everyone, and thank you for having Chris and myself here today. And I first want to say thank you to the Scale AI team for holding such a fabulous conference and a wonderful, remarkable meetings of minds. Let's get started. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think the fact that all of you being here today probably means I don't have to convince you of the magnitude of the opportunity that lies ahead of us in Canada today. Canada has long been the source of phenomenal AI talent globally for many decades. And in fact, most of the transformational advances in AI were invented in our own backyard.
Yep.
But unfortunately, we haven't been able to capitalize it. And at the same time, unfortunately, we're also seeing our productivity is falling behind in Canada. And some of our critical services, like healthcare, are starting to buckle under the pressure. But the opportunity here is, in normal times, to reverse those trends would have taken a generation. But I think now, with the capabilities that we have with AI and the phenomenal talent we have in Canada, we almost have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to leapfrog all our peers globally and truly, transform where we're going as an economy.
Exactly.
So the question really shouldn't be, if or when we're going to lean into this AI, but how are we going to go all in?
Right.
But what we can't deny is, unfortunately, up until now, Canadian organizations always had to make a trade-off between rapidly advancing their AI innovation or doing it at the expense of compromising our data sovereignty. And let's face it, just even simply, we have a scarcity here. We have a scarcity of just compute. And so we're forced to run our workloads, our AI workloads, outside of our borders. Yep. And when I talk to some of our researchers at our wonderful research institutes that we have, Mila and AMI and Vector, and I see some of our friends here from them, one of the biggest challenges I hear they always say is they have a hard time having GPU access for their researchers.
Yeah, exactly.
And how you do that. So we kind of need to solve that. And then even when we can run our own workloads in Canada, we still have to make some kind of trade-off on the data provenance. And so the question I ask the group here, and we ask ourselves as a nation, is why do we have to choose? And why do we have to make that trade-off? So what does it mean? What is digital sovereignty and what is AI sovereignty? And we have a particular view on it. Yep. And what we think of it is it's really a spectrum. It's not a binary, you are sovereign or not, but it's a spectrum of capabilities you need. Yep. And really, it fundamentally comes from how do you control your own destiny?
Yes.
And we think at its most fundamental level is we have to take away the scarcity, take that out of the equation altogether. So how do we create the right supply of GPU computes and AI compute here in Canada? The next level from that says, okay, now how can we guarantee that our data and the provenance of our data stays within our borders? And that's across the whole life cycle. So that's from its genesis to when it's transmitted to when it's actually used for inference and compute and operated on. Then you have to start thinking about, okay, physical access. So physical access to that infrastructure, so who does have access to it? And can we guarantee that those individuals who have access are Canadian citizens that have the highest level of security clearance? Yep. Then you go one level higher and you ask yourselves, okay, the entities that are controlling all this infrastructure, are they subject to any foreign laws and regulations, or how can we ensure that they only have to answer to Canadian laws and Canadian regulations?
Yep.
And then at the highest level, we have to ask ourselves, the control plane for all that infrastructure, where does it sit? And who owns and manages that control plane? And is it that within our Canadian borders? And is that only needing to answer to Canadian laws and regulations?
Yep.
So I think that should be our definition of digital sovereignty. And with that, I am super proud to share the next video and the announcement of what we're trying to offer for Canada to solve that digital sovereignty problem.
This has never been done before in Canada. Our country was in need of its own sovereign AI infrastructure. So TELUS built it. This is Canada's first fully sovereign AI factory, a powerful, super secure facility that gives Canadian businesses and researchers the computing power they need to create, train, and deploy their own AI models. Authentic sovereignty means controlling every layer, from the physical chips to the data processing. Everything is operated and controlled by Canadians under Canadian law. This direct ownership is critical, as it mitigates vulnerabilities that exist when you rely on external parties.
Notre centre de données ici à Rimouski, c'est un bâtiment qui est sécuritaire, qui est innovateur, qui est efficace énergiquement. We run the entire network on TELUS Pure Fiber and with 99% renewable energy and 75% less water usage.
What drives the factory are NVIDIA's most advanced GPUs. They provide the massive computing power needed to build AI from the ground up.
Les plateformes qui existent, qui ne sont pas canadiennes, nous rendent vraiment vulnérables, nous rendent dépendants au point de vue économique, au point de vue politique également. Alors, pouvoir le développer ici au Canada, de pouvoir compter sur une entreprise canadienne pour développer ce type de technologie pour l'économie canadienne, pour l'ensemble du pays, ben, ça va diminuer effectivement notre dépendance. Alors, c'est extrêmement important de pouvoir compter sur de l'intelligence artificielle souveraine au Canada.
The future of AI is Canadian, and it starts here.
Very awesome. Very good.
Thank you.
Very
Thank
cool.
you. Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing. And I think we started talking about this less than a year ago.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
That's what's incredible. So.
Indeed.
Yeah, so it's so exciting to see the work that's happening, and we're so blessed from NVIDIA to be part of this. This journey around creating sovereign AI is something that we've been very much focused on at NVIDIA. It's been over probably about 3 years ago we really began to see this trend beginning to take place, and nations really leaning into setting the agenda for how they're going to adopt AI across their nation. How are they going to create the right conditions to drive job growth, to drive the economic growth for the country, to upskill the citizens of the country, and to do it in a safe, secure, and sovereign manner. And the exciting thing is what we saw, is I get the opportunity to lead telcos worldwide here at NVIDIA, is that there was one set of companies that kept coming up to the top of who could really do this and really do it well, and it was the telcos in the nations were the trusted infrastructure partners of their country, right? And so we were very excited to begin to have these conversations to say, how can we work together with you to help you realize this vision? And hearing Evan Solomon talk earlier today, about the importance of this is infrastructure is just like roads, just like the trains. We need to have the digital infrastructure in the nation to move it forward, and nobody better than TELUS to come in and actually be the facilitator to make that happen, right? So we basically sit at this place where we're able to take this incredible technology that we've built and be able to bring that to you to help you unlock all the amazing things across Canada. So, it starts really, from NVIDIA's perspective, it really starts for us that we help build a reference architecture for how to do this. NVIDIA obviously is a big user of our own GPUs and of our artificial intelligence inside of our own company, and we know how to build these large clusters of infrastructure to advance AI. And we then sit down with partners that have the ambition to do this and provide that reference architecture, and it includes our latest compute chips. But it also includes how we network all this together so that these individual GPUs can act as one big cluster to be able to solve the biggest problems. And on top of that, we then bring our software that really provides the tools to enable people to get the most out of this infrastructure, to build different applications, to go after different industries, and ultimately really enhance that speed to market. And so it's bringing all those pieces together that, we literally, I think, while we started the conversation, I think about less than a year ago, I mean, from the time that we really said go and we wanted to get up and running, and I think congratulations, I heard this 3 days ago, it's live and running.
Yes,
so
exactly.
very good. But we're super excited to be on this path and really providing the tools and capabilities to really unlock the opportunity to drive the digital economy here, to help the startups be able to use these tools. NVIDIA has a program called Inception, which is our startup community. There's hundreds of Inception partners across Canada already today, and now they've got a place to go and be able to tap into using that infrastructure that is sovereign in their backyard. And we really will work with you to make sure that we can bring these services to the government. And the other great thing is that even TELUS is on an AI transformation yourself, and you have the opportunity to use this infrastructure to apply AI to provide better experience to your customers, to provide more efficiency across the operation. And so you're able to do that and kind of lead by example and drink your own champagne. So we couldn't be more proud of the partnership, and we are so excited that this is now live and we're ready to go.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, we're very excited about this, and I would say it would not be possible without the great support that we had from NVIDIA, so thank you very much, and also from our partners, HPE, in doing that. And I want to do a special mention to all our TELUS team members,
yes,
especially the ones in Rimouski that worked day and night to put this together, and they did it with such passion, for our country and build Canada, so it was really phenomenal to see. And maybe just do a quick recap of what you just saw in the video. So what you saw is our AI factory, built by Canadians for Canadians.
Yep.
It is built with all the sovereign by design principles that I talked about earlier. It offers end-to-end AI capabilities. So this is whether you're trying to build models from scratch and you want to train your new models, or whether you're taking existing models and you want to fine-tune them, or do you want to do inference at scale. All that is possible within this AI factory. We're very proud about the sustainability of this. It's one of the most sustainable data centers in the world, using 99% renewable energy, and using techniques like free cooling, where it's 98% using free cooling throughout the year. And as you just said, it's operational as of today. So we are saying to all Canadians, we are open for business for all startups, for all enterprises, for all government institutions, for all researchers. You have your solution today, and you can be digitally sovereign.
Exactly.
And maybe just to close things out, I think a lot of people wonder, okay, well, how do I use this AI factory? Or what's the barrier to entry? And I thought we had a really interesting kind of use case to show here. And it's in healthcare. And so a lot of you may have heard about this ambient scribe. This is not a new idea. It's been around for several years now, and you can buy it off the shelf. And this is where you think of a medical provider, a clinician, a physician, will have an ambient scribe that's listening to the conversation, transcribing all the dialogue that's happening, relieving the medical provider from taking all those notes and the cognitive load, and then be able to kind of transcribe that. But not just transcribe it, then filter it, then clean it, then can make sure it's accurate in terms of the medical data that's in there, and then create an accurate medical record out of it.
Exactly.
Again, this is not new. This exists today. But if you talk about in Canada, and if you're a medical provider that wants to do that, where would you go? There is nowhere. You'll probably have to go to some SaaS provider, and then you get into all the issues that we talked about of your data provenance. Well, what I'd like to show you here then is an example. So here is, let's see if it plays. There we go. So I'll try to walk you through this real quickly for those who don't know the AI scribe. So this would be like a doctor in their office. This is their medical record and clinician software. They're starting a session with a patient. it is now transcribing the whole dialogue that's happened back and forth. And then at the end of the visit, the doctor can then go through, have it now summarized, transcribed, and then edited for accuracy, and then saving it into the medical record, and now it becomes part of it. What I'd like to share that what you just saw here was built in under 1 day. It was built in under 1 day using the great models that we have available for consumption on our AI factory. It was using Parakeet for the transcription. It was using Nemotron to do the medical kind of the notes out of it. And this was all put together in 1 day. And now you put it and you build it, and you know that you are sovereign by design, that you have all those questions answered, and that you could plug that into your solutions today. Exactly. And so we wanted to share that just to understand the art of the possible. Yep. Like, we are trying to empower all Canadians, all Canadian businesses, researchers, enterprises to be able to innovate and advance our digital journey. Yeah,
I think you're seeing, this, when you have the foundation, now you can just continue to iterate and build even more quickly. The teams are building up their skills on how to use NVIDIA software. There's also several partners that NVIDIA works with to actually train them and actually show them how to use NVIDIA. In fact, one of the big things that NVIDIA does bring to the table is that we have over 6 million developers that know how to code in the language of NVIDIA, and that really unlocks this huge potential to be able to drive new innovation at scale across Canada. And so there's certain industries, though, that we talked about. Healthcare is a great example of one. Financial services is another example of an industry that is very much focused on making sure that they can deliver sovereignty, and obviously the government themselves. And I think that what was talked about earlier is how do we make this also impactful to the citizens of the country and create those services. And by working closely with the government, we're really providing that platform where they can create a whole suite of new services that they can bring out to the citizens to help make their lives better, right? And I think that's it. And so we're constantly also working at NVIDIA to make sure that we're creating the next best tools that will allow this platform not only to cut across all the different industries that are out there, but even all the different modalities of AI, because we're on this amazing journey right now. And obviously, you're hearing a lot about generative AI today. But as we're going forward, you're going to hear more and more about this idea of what we call agentic AI being deployed at scale. And next is actually this idea around what we call physical AI, and it's really connecting up the robotics and the world of the physical world with AI to actually act in an autonomous manner. And the fact that right now you guys are laying that foundation to not only support machine learning and AI services today and vision today, but you're also laying a foundation to be able to support all the future technologies. We couldn't be more proud of the partnership and the collaboration that's happening.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris. So, as all of you might have heard, Minister Solomon say today, he talked about sovereignty is not solitude, and how do we work with partners? And so that's our partnership we have with NVIDIA and some of the best world-class leading technology. You also heard him say that we need a digital insurance policy, and that how we have to maintain our data and maintain that sovereignty, and it's here today. And then you also heard him say, in terms of an action plan, how do you have a plan and move forward and be bold and experiment and drive your AI journeys and get out of the sort of the POC worlds and get more into like how do you scale. And so the message we want to share with all of you today and close off is we believe we've offered you the platform, and you have it today in our AI factory, and Canada's AI future starts today.
Exactly. It's open for business.
Yes, open for business. So thank you all very much. And if you want to learn more, please come by our booths. We have several booths in the main pavilion and in the NVIDIA pavilion, and come see more and learn about what the AI factory has to offer.
Yes. Thank you guys so very much. Thank you so much. All right.